This podcast contains discussions about sensitive topics, including mental health, alcohol and substance use, as well as suicide. It may also include strong language. The viewpoints expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised. If you or someone you know needs support, please reach out to a trusted professional or a helpline. Welcome to Twist the Throttle, the podcast where we crank open the throttle on life's toughest rides. From mental health struggles to life on two wheels, we're here to have real, raw, unscripted conversations that break the stigma and help you navigate the road ahead. So grab your helmet, hit the road with us, and remember, it's still okay to pump the brakes. Together, we're shifting gears on mental health. Here's your hosts, Ambo and the Prez.
Well, welcome back, listeners. Another week has passed, and this week we've got Raggaz. How are you, man?
Yeah, Dylan, we've got Dylan joining us, who's from the other side of town from us, formerly of the Brothers SMC. Welcome to the show, mate.
What do you ride, mate? What's your bike of choice?
I ride a M109R Boulevard.
Boulevard.
Sitting out the front. I've already had a bit of a look. I spotted it.
It's a beautiful bike.
I like your helmet too, actually.
Thanks.
It's a Simpson, yeah?
No, it's the Biltwell lane splitter.
Biltwell, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
One
Yeah,
of
it
the
looks
two, one of
really
the two.
nice.
Yeah, the cheaper Simpson version.
Yeah.
If money was no object, what would be your dream bike?
Just for the wank factor, I think like a Boss Hoss.
Oh, yeah.
I was taking photos at the Geelong bike night of a couple that were there. Oh, they are pretty impressive, aren't they?
Big 350
Yeah.
Chev engines.
I'd build one.
Yeah, you'd build one?
I'd build one,
The
yeah.
next project?
Yeah, maybe the next project.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
Well, yeah. That'd be pretty hot, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say I got like a dream bike. I'm sort of just happy to have one and be on one.
happy
So
on one,
you know,
yeah.
like I'll be on that until it decides it doesn't want to run no more, and then we'll ask the missus if it's okay to buy something new. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
So recently new dad,
yeah.
first time, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. First bub.
How's that going? You remember sleep still? Or?
Oh, yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, my partner does a hell of a lot,
Yeah.
so I don't have to do too much. Like, I do my best, as many dads try. So,
boy or girl?
it's a girl.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Cool, yeah.
So she's already got me wrapped around her finger.
Smile.
Yeah,
How old is she now?
2 months.
2 months.
That's
Yeah,
it.
they grow up pretty quickly, man.
Mate, yeah.
Yeah, it has gone by. So,
Yeah.
but it's
We've got an interview coming out, or probably just coming out about, from Ambo's daughter. We've got my 2 daughters coming on the show at some stage.
Yeah.
My kids are probably your age, so
It's good to actually get it out of the way nice and early, mate. That's what am I, 42, and I've got an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old.
yeah, 50. What am I? 48 and 28 and 22.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
time does
Yeah.
pass pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's almost done for me.
Yeah.
I
Well,
couldn't imagine starting again.
Yeah, don't say that too much. I sponged off the old man till I was 30. So
Yeah, beautiful.
you have a chance of hanging around.
Hey, what first got you into riding? Do you remember your first time on a bike?
My old man got us a few little pit bikes back in the day when we were little kids.
Yeah,
and just
nice.
riding around, burning your legs on the side of that thing. That was
Yeah,
always
yeah,
good.
yeah.
And they had a PW50 we used to borrow and hoon around the backyards with.
Yeah, So you're from Melbourne? You grew up out down here? Or?
Yeah, just all eastern side.
Yeah.
So predominantly around Murrelbach and Baronia and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
nice.
So
Beautiful.
yeah.
Nice part of the world too.
Yeah, it goes right. It's a bit more hilly and trees like.
Yeah.
You get over this side of town, all of a sudden it's
Very,
flat
very,
rooftops.
very flat over here.
Yeah, a little bit envious of what you've got over your way. You're spending
Yeah.
not too far away from all the Black Spurs and all that sort of stuff.
We always say when our club wants to go for a ride, it's an hour to get to somewhere worth riding.
Yep.
Unless we start heading the coast and stuff, which,
Yeah.
then you get 5,000 tourists.
And then you guys all complain, oh, you freaking drive through boring freaking western suburbs to get to the good twisters down there.
A ride's a ride. If it's going to the bloody shops for a 5 minute
Mate,
hoon
I'd
or
say
if it-
20 odd bucks in the petrol tank is the most fun I've had in a long time, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What's your favourite ride or road destination? Anywhere you like to go? Or
Something I frequently hit up's usually Beach Road from St Kilda down to Edithvale. Just me and my mates. It's just an easy Tuesday night ride. Just get out, see the coast, and
Good perv.
Yeah,
it's nice like that through the summer.
beautiful views.
yeah.
And sometimes the
Unfortunately,
ocean.
you get to winter and you got your glass cutters out yourself riding
Oh,
around. So
We call that our ice cream run. We go to Williamstown from here for ice cream, and then we always end up at Mordialloc or something.
Yep.
Just go down and keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But I've been about anywhere I can within reason. I haven't done any big interstate rides like I want to yet, but we've riding around, just done Great Ocean Road, gone the other side,
Yeah.
then to all the spurs, all the hills, and
Yeah.
trying to get to mountains and far away places that you never see before. So
Any bucket list rides you're still chasing?
I want to go around Australia. Love to do a lap around Australia, see the sights
Coastal?
and coastal or just hike through the land and stuff. Like I've done a few drives up New South Wales, like Bathurst and stuff, and that sort of got me that itch. You see the sights. Dog in a tucker box, of course, you get to stop at, So, see all those giant animals and creatures and fruits that they've got hanging around Australia.
Do the big tour,
Yeah, so...
big apple, big, what do you call it? Big banana, big prawn.
Yeah,
big
across Harbour Way,
And even like the silo arts and stuff like that.
Oh, that's now a tourist thing to get around doing all those. Yeah, my parents want to do that with their caravan.
And some of them are pretty cool. Like you go there at night and they've got UV light setups as well. So you go early in the morning or not at night and you press the button and it lights up all the animals you can't see and stuff.
So that's a lot better than this Pam that's going all over the town at the moment.
I was going to say, I saw a wicked one on Novotel Hotel coming through. It's just down the side of a building.
I know, isn't he?
How the hell?
He's freaking amazing where he's getting some of these Pams up.
He's on all the new, brand new signs on the skate and stuff.
But how does he get up there? It's
probably an absent.
Oh, he's doing a very good job or whatever it is.
So
kudos to you if you're listening to the podcast as well.
Yeah. Melbourne's own Banksy.
So what does riding mean to you just beyond getting on the bike?
It's just a break and a freedom from everything. Like I originally started riding just to clear my head a lot, the mental health side of things and just sort of break yourself up away from work and just have some time away, meet some mates and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's just sort of a big cluster of things.
Use the bike to commit to work?
No. I'm a tradie, so unfortunately having
tools
and stuff strapped to your back's probably not ideal.
Depends what you got.
Yeah, that's it. Get a little trailer for the
I had a big axe when we went camping on a camping trip, and I got told to take it out of me freaking pack.
Old mate pulls into the servo for the meat spot, and he's got a milk crate
tied on the back.
Bike. This friggin' huge axe, head hanging out the back of his bike. I'm like, dude.
Final destination.
This fucking zip tied.
The first cop we come past is going to pull you up. To flip it over the other way. He goes, it looks sick. I'm like, it does. But
we don't have time to stop.
That was a good, funny thing, that one. So you'd say the riding's more of a mental escape thing than a lifestyle thing for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a few of your other the people on the podcast have brushed on. You sort of can't really afford to not be in the zone of when you're riding. You got already cars and trucks and other bikes out there already trying to aim for you, let alone everything else. So just got to be focused in and.
I had a good conversation with someone this week. They were like, "Have you ever nearly been knocked off your bike?" And I'm like, every time I ride.
Yeah.
What day of the week?
Yeah. Like every time I get on the bike, someone tries to kill you.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if you're not switched on, it's not a great way to get around.
Well, even just the freeway to get here, you split the lanes, you're doing it, Mr. Policeman, if you're listening, doing it under 30, around about 30, you're coming through and, you can see maybe a truck, you start to slow down, your car just tries to wedge in. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, where am I going?
Without indicators.
Well, they're not trying to...
Use your indicators and it's not an issue, we can see you.
Yeah, so it's not so much a merge, it's more they're just trying to slow you down like you guys have brushed on before. It's almost like they're jealous that you can split the lane and not sit in 30-degree heat with an engine under you boiling you away. So
exactly right. One of the reasons I invited you onto the show is you proved some really good character coming out to our breast cancer awareness ride. You weren't able to make the ride, but you brought your crew over at the time and it really impressed our whole club and was like, this guy's got what we look for in our mates. And support you get from the biker community, is that helped you in your life at all?
Yeah, it definitely has. You meet so many different people from different lifestyles, different ways of living, different countries. It's like I started out my riding with the Melbourne street riders and stuff, so it was a bit odd riding a cruiser, a little Sportster around, with a whole bunch of sports bikes. But, you just meet different people and they support you in different ways.
That MSR crew, great bunch of guys. They got very big, very quick, and then
they've dropped off.
Can't really get the hoons that they were getting at their meets were really putting the heat on them from the coppers side. They had to quieten down a little bit.
It was a bit of a clash of politics, I think, with a few of them, and now there's so many little crews on the east side now. It's all the same people. You go to TNR rides in Luna Park, and they're all still there, but different crews now and stuff. But
you find your tribe, as we say. You meet your friends through it. Life isn't always smooth riding. How can biking help through your tough times?
Yeah, like I said, just getting out clears your head. Even being a source of support for somebody else while you get out there, you make friends or people are part of your own crew and stuff. So I find helping others as well helps me quite a bit. It's all people's perspectives of, how bad things are. Something, like a leaf hitting me on the helmet could like ruin my day, but someone could have just lost a family member.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to sort of make that adjustment and try to be there for each other so you can be there for each other as well. So
have you struggled with mental health yourself over the years, or is it something you've been pretty lucky with?
No, I've struggled quite a bit. Some days are worse than others.
Yep.
I know you guys have spoken about the medication and therapies and stuff like that. So a bigger incident for me, I think I just got to work one day and just, realized what was I was a bit wrong and I wasn't right. And, I had to do something to fix that and to change that to be better. So, but my whole life's always been, when you think back to it, they're all little things that just build up to something big and that could be all what it takes. So I've just been lucky on the sense that I haven't got myself to that final point, where I've been able to stop myself. But
So in that situation, did you go and get help from your doctor or?
Yeah, well, I first reached out to my partner. I sort of did a Beyond the Blue test thing on the internet.
Yeah.
It just popped up at the right time and the wrong time sort of thing. I was just scanning, like, let's just see how fucked up I am. So did that, spoke to my partner and she was like, yep, we're going to the doctors and we're going to start putting that mental health plan into place. Started that.
Did you ever get through any therapy or anything like that, or just mainly the medication side of things?
I stopped doing the medication. I can't say I was too dedicated to that. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a bit of a, we all know the symptoms of that one. It's not quite fun when you're going to town for a little while and you're just like, it'd be nice to finish sometime. So.
They didn't tell you that when they gave it to you, though, yeah?
Yeah, well, it kills your libido and you're like, I think that's going to make things worse.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't sound fun.
That's my fun thing.
Not fucking fun for me anyway.
I've spoken to people before, been to different counsellors, and you sort of got to find that connection with a counsellor as well, or somebody you're talking to. There was the first few I think I went to that you just feel like you're there for the government paycheck that they get. So
yeah, agreed. Have you been a support person for somebody else?
Have I been?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think I have helped some people, being there to listen or give some advice or a different view on a situation. Can't say anyone's can't pat me on the back and say, well done, I didn't jump off the bridge today, but they're still here, so I must have done something.
You might have stopped it, you never know though, right?
Sometimes it's just that sort of 8 minutes we talk about.
Oh, that's it.
So how do you balance the freedom of riding with life's responsibilities at home, especially with a new bub and tow?
Yeah, that's fun.
How keen was the missus on you still riding the bike after Bubs was around?
Again, she's very, very good about it. To start off with, late term, it was sort of, I was just trying to ramp it up for myself and be like, if I get all these rides out of the way, and then I'm not going to feel the itch when she's born, and then, so on and so forth. But even afterwards, my partner does realise that, it's a bit for my mental health and to help other guys, premise of the old SMC I was with, and just for myself, the whole point for me was to get out to these groups and to these people and to help. So, and she realised that helps me a lot too. So the lifestyle side of things hasn't really changed, which is good. So
you were saying earlier on that you guys have disbanded from your SMC over the eastern suburbs. So can we go into that a little bit?
Yeah, it can do. I mean, putting it sort of bluntly, I think the SMC and myself and a few of the other members, we just sort of didn't have the same path, all going in the same direction, and just to make it, best for everybody, it was easier to step away and let the paths go as they go. So
you joined up with a national SMC as the Victorian president, is that right?
No. So when it first started, when I joined, it was mainly just a Victorian chapter. The founder is up in New South Wales, so we were down here just trying to promote and get ourselves going.
Yeah.
I started off as a road cap. Well, I started off as just a nom or a prospect area. People call it to stay out of trouble from the MCs, but I started off as a little nobody, had my first 2 patches, rode around, got some friends together and started adding to the community, and got promoted to road captain, did that for a while until there was a bit more growth, and then I got promoted to a Eastern chapter president.
Well, that's good.
Great job.
Yeah, it went relatively well for the time it was, and
And how long was all of that process from?
It was probably started that maybe 1.5-2 years ago. So probably took me sort of standard 9 months ish to progress through to road captain, and then just as there was growth over southeast and east, that some of the members from east weren't committed, couldn't commit all the way down to southeast all the time, so we decided to have a separate chapter and run it that way.
Well, things things often change. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. So, I mean, it's just
still
part
all,
of the journey.
still all friends. It's just you're not doing the old tag type stuff now.
Yeah, well, that's
So
it.
you kind of mentioned you got into the riding the same reason our club does it, to kind of give back a bit. And
Yeah.
National Guy wasn't on that path. So yeah, it's hard when the guys at the top aren't looking down and seeing what the guys at the bottom actually want to do.
Yeah, it's
same as a job, really, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
if your management's not pulling in the same direction as you, it's hard to say, hey, let's fucking to make this successful. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think, just the paths themselves weren't aligning. And I think, just again, like for myself, it was, I guess like if you look at it as a job, why are you going to stay somewhere that's just not working for you, or vice versa, it's not working for them. So
what advice would you give to someone who's struggling with their mental health?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, the generic one would be, to seek help and stuff. I think you got to personally recognize what's going on you and not lying to yourself about it. Like, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you're not liking what you're seeing, if you're not liking where you're at, a lot of those first steps starts with you before it goes anywhere else. I've heard quite a lot of stories where either friends of friends or something just trying to push through constantly and stuff. It's like, it's okay to slow down and just look at yourself,
self-evaluate,
look at where you're at, and then start to make those steps towards fixing yourself if that's the way they see it, Like,
my old favourite one is if you come across somebody that did need some help, where would you send them first? What would you be the first port of call?
Well, I suppose anyone with a partner, providing that they can trust their partner into talking in that sense. There are some vindictive people out there, and there's some people you don't fully trust as well, and maybe within that person that they don't trust that to speak up. But I would say, like, starting with your partner and close friend, and then working your way to a GP.
So you said yourself you got on the Beyond Blue and did the self-evaluation.
Yeah.
Have you ever called any of the helplines or anything like that? Ever go on that?
No, I haven't. I haven't called a hotline before. I'm just sort of in the age of technology. Just if you're twiddling your thumbs in front of a screen, it's there too. So
might as well have a crack.
But I've done the messenger. And they do the instant message there when they sort of tick the boxes and go, you're not well. You get that instant message going through. And
I scored really high on this test. That means I'm really good at me.
Yeah. Did I win? What's the prize? Oh, I'm just talking to this guy. Oh, great.
Someone will be in contact with you shortly.
Yeah, stay still. Don't move.
What's one thing about the biker community you wish more people understood?
It'd be nice if all the sports bikes and cruisers could get along sometimes. We're all the same guys on the same battlefield, really.
That's it. We're all playing the same game with our lives every day.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I think the community itself does really well. Like, for all the groups I've been in and mingled with, you can go to a sport bike meet or a cruiser meet and talk to somebody, and it's just, it's actually pretty good. So
no, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I get along with everybody.
You do.
Pull into a petrol station,
talk
to anybody.
Inside petrol station conversation.
Yeah. Talking to myself doesn't do very good. The voices inside the helmet.
Yeah. That's why the music dial goes up sometimes. Just drown them out.
Are you a in the comms person or music guy when you're riding?
I'm more music. Yeah, just like listening to any sort of tunes that are going on.
Yeah.
Good way to just help keep the head clear from listening to my own voice tell me stuff. So yeah, I'll go on comms with people, but we never rode to a capacity where it was that serious about navigating, routes and stuff like that. Otherwise, it's just someone having to listen to my voice do chicken sounds for half an hour or something, like doing something retarded, so.
Listen to Ambo sing.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to say that. I'm not actually that bad.
No.
Well, I don't think so anyway. It sounds all right in my head.
Hey, don't believe me, ask me.
Yeah. We can record it and have a go at it one day.
Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years with when it comes to bikes and whatnot?
I have an idea, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. That's fun. It's definitely a strong thought, that one. But keeping it to the topic, I would like to get to a point where I'm doing a lot more interstate rides or overnight rides and stuff, and just really trying to experience more of the country rather than staying in one area, one city.
Yeah, you get a bit bored of going over all the cool roads over your way of town. Black Spur.
Oh,
but
the boring mountains. Come ride on our flat stuff. It's all
ride's a ride, so it's never any bad. But I just I'm trying to be a part of the bike community and help a few more people. Maybe not to the same capacity as like Troy. He's doing some outstanding work. I mean, he's
qualified. Yeah, that's one thing. The episode we had with Troy on, amazing dude. Could have spoken to him for 4 hours, but
he had answers to a lot of our questions.
But he actually ran most of that. Yeah, like he was talking, and we were just sitting here listening. It was amazing. Like that's his job. He does mental health stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
We're here talking to normal people about their experience with bikes, trying to just break that stigma, get your story out there a little bit. Yeah, that's the main thing we're talking about. If you could go back and talk to your younger self, is there any advice you'd like to give your younger self knowing what you know now?
Thought about this question too because you guys asked it, and I've gone through all the podcasts and listened to all. So, but
so
I don't quite.
You're the one.
Yeah, that's I'm the one that's going through it. First person questioning. So I don't quite know, to be honest. I mean, it'd be nice to tell my younger self to be a bit more financially sensible and not just blow my money.
Okay, we've all been there and done that.
Yeah, so, and like
nothing major thing.
I don't smoke and I don't drink and I don't do drugs, so I don't know where all my money goes.
You have a bike. That's sort of how that one rolls sometimes.
I do spend a lot of money on parts.
It's not even your bike.
I think just not being so hasty sometimes, just slowing down rather than just hitting things full force and flying by the seat of your pants, just take a step back, see how it is from other people's perspectives before you jump to these conclusions, and just be a bit more humble about life and get on.
You mentioned you're a tradie. What trade are you in?
Currently I'm an apprentice chippy.
Okay.
So, I've already qualified in another trade and ran my own business and got a bit bored of that and moved on.
Yep. So you
putting another cap on?
Yeah, trying to. Yeah, see how many certificates I can get before the end.
Yeah,
so.
Going to be the goal of being a builder at the end of it?
More property maintenance.
Property maintenance. That's just probably a good field to get into.
Yeah, little renos or just things around people's houses. Again, it's sort of trying to focus a bit more on helping people as well. So, I've noticed in the construction side of things, a lot of people aren't tackling jobs for even like old people or foreigners if it's not a big enough job, I just see a lot of these people are left with little jobs that just get untended and it gets worse and worse and snowballs.
You're a bit young to be looking at the grey army, but that's kind of what you're talking about.
Sort of, get to that point of giving back.
Not all about the money all the time, and I've always said that as well. Like, I got a lot of the guys at work, they're in that for 12-hour days and 13-hour days or more, and I look at them going, mate, do you even have a life outside of this place?
Yeah.
Get them a bike. That'll change this perspective.
Yeah. I do my 9 hours and I'm keen to go home. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's, now I got the little one too. It's pretty exciting to get
home
and see the giggles and the rolls and what we're doing now and the chuck that we can projectile across the place.
Oh, yeah. The stinky poos, man.
So what's next in your life? What's the next big thing you're looking forward to? What's something you've got on the horizon that you're excited about?
Just trying to focus on being a dad, really.
Yeah.
Being a good dad, being there is the main goal. The bike's just help people ride, cruise, enjoy myself, have, hope other people have good experiences with me whilst we ride. But
growing up, did you have a good relationship with your dad? Was it good mentors around you for this type of role you're going into? Or?
It was a bit different. I mean, parents separating for my time isn't uncommon. So my mum and dad split when I was about 1. So went to like every second weekend seeing my dad. So it wasn't always sort of having that role model with my old man there, just because, with mum and stuff like that didn't work out. But I had an uncle and my pa as well. They passed not so long ago, but they were big parts of my life as well, and big turning points into the way of seeing the world. So my uncle was a quadriplegic, and when I was younger as well, I had a few suicidal thoughts when I was in primary school and growing up into high school and stuff. I'd come to him and talk about my shit day, and he goes, "Well, I'll trade you. You can be in this wheelchair with a broken neck, or you can sort of just get on being out there." And
that puts it in perspective.
It was a good way to open your eyes really quick to be like, you know what, life isn't so fucking bad. I'm having a bad day, and not saying that it doesn't snowball and affect you later on, but that instant perspective where you're like, fuck, it could be bad, and it could be worse in so many different ways, and sort of now that I'm a lot older, I've noticed, maybe he was suffering his own mental health stuff, because it would.
Of course you would, yeah.
Confined to a wheelchair is probably not that exciting. And, even with my pa passing as well, he's gone through his own mental health. So those sort of things are what's sort of driving me to help others as much as I can. So, and then, just try to play a part about these events in the future. I know you guys have got going and we'll be a part of and around. So,
yes, very good.
Anything we haven't covered that you would like to talk about? That was we just touched on something pretty deep there that we hadn't planned for. So, anything else in your mind that you'd like to get out there for the rest of the community to know, or anything about yourself you want to put out there? Or?
I don't think so much for myself. I don't like talking about myself. So
No one does, mate. That's why we do the podcast.
Yeah, if you have questions, I'll answer them. But I try not to think about it. But I think like the mental health side of things can affect anyone anywhere. Like that's it could be your own grandfather that you don't really think about. He's it could be up in there in the age thinking about all sorts of bad things or good things, and
as the forgotten generation.
Yeah,
it's worth spending time. Like my stepfather just passed away recently. Like I wish I had been able to spend more time having conversations about his life.
I'm starting to realise my parents are moving away very soon, and I'm trying to get as much time with them.
Yeah,
before they go and do a 2-hour drive move up to bush.
Yeah,
I wish I spent a lot more time with them while they were close.
You don't realise how
now it's a mission to get up there and see them every day.
How do I put it? You try and get away from your parents your whole childhood, and then when you get older, you're like, yeah, they weren't too bad. Actually.
Yeah,
they were actually they were trying to keep me on the right path.
Yeah,
like all the rules and stuff that I thought my stepdad was a hard bastard and get me off the wrong path and all the rest of it. He did a pretty good job. Yeah, very could have easily been a different life for me if he wasn't in it. So
I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot of that soon too. Yeah. when she grows up. So
mate, raising girls is a whole different animal. I've got 2 of them. Sarge's got 1. We've both been through some pretty hard times. So don't ever be afraid to ask questions of anyone. Really.
Yeah, that's the key. If you don't know, ask. Yeah.
Well, I've actually had a pretty good support network with a few guys in the old SMC where we there was 4 of us that all had kids in the same year, basically. Yep. So one of the guys was a bit of a veteran. He had a few kids, so and he was just a great source. Swano, you could just talk to him about anything, and he'd sit there and listen and tell you, okay, this is what could be it or whatnot. And for myself, like I didn't grow up a lot around babies or kids, so. And when I did, it was sort of, the girl's job to sort of look after him. I was a boy, you do all the housework and stuff outside and this and that. Yeah, a few of the guys have really helped out a lot with that. And I think that's another thing too, like if you're a new dad and it's your first time dad as well, like, I was new to the thought that you could get that postnatal depression. Like no one told me. And I was just like, we're going through. And then again, you do one of these little tick box things and you're like, oh man, the missus have something in common all of a sudden. I
don't think a lot of time is spent talking about the male side of that. Like, your life's completely turned upside down and now you're
you have got a lot more responsibilities as a dad, but you don't take it all on yourself. I mean, I was lucky that my daughter is my ex's second child. I think maybe having your first child, you feel a little bit more like you're going to do something wrong, but she was there saying, no, that's normal. That's normal.
Yeah.
Not make you worried about stuff.
Yeah, they do some things that do that, and they hold their breath and they
get a bit hot.
What are you about to do? Breathe again.
Yeah. They get hot and you think you want to rush them off to the doctor. Try a little bit of Nurofen first and just, and that cools them down. Nurofen?
Panadol
Panadol for the temperature.
My daughter was rushed to hospital when she was about 6 months old with the febrile convulsion. And I was at baseball training, so I made it from Footscray down to Werribee Hospital in about 10 minutes in peak hour, which we won't talk about the emergency lanes and what I was doing with the Telstra van at the time.
Yeah.
I got there and I ran into the room.
If you're going fast enough, they can't read the number on the back.
It's all just a blur.
I ran into the room where she was and she was like convulsing on the bed and blood and shit everywhere. I was like froze. Like my whole world just crashed in that moment. The doctor's like, who are you? And I said, her dad. He goes, get the fuck out of here. I was like, someone grabbed me and dragged me out. And like, I finally found like my wife at the time. And they were like, don't worry, it looks worse than it is. She's going to be fine. And I was like, that looked like she was dead. Like she was in the, oh man. Yeah. And just that image is still in my head now. And that was 20 freaking 2 years ago. Yeah. So kids are fun, man. Kids are fun. They're going to do some dumb shit. She's going to make you, bring you undone.
Oh yeah.
And like you say, wrapped around your little finger already. You don't know the half of it.
You'll learn.
As he was maybe 6 months old, I heard a scream. I was in the shower. I was giving a wash in the shower. And I heard the ex-partner scream. And I said, fuck, what the, like, it was a proper scream. I come running out. I slipped on the fucking floor, and as he went fucking flying in the air, I kind of reached and grabbed for his head and stopped his head from hitting the ground, but he come down and he fucking bent his femur.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he was in a cast from like fucking 6 months old.
Jeez.
Fucking terrible.
Oh, what?
And I felt fucking the worst parent ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. and it was a fucking spider of all things.
Anyway, we're going way off topic here, but that's what we said. Just a conversation.
Yep.
Anyway, mate, thanks for coming over. Thanks for making the time to get over here and see
I forgot to ask him that question, mate. Yeah. So what does Twist the Throttle mean to you, mate?
Yeah, well, I heard this one today actually. So I've been thinking about that as well. So, well, apart from just the generic getting on and giving it a go,
and that's gas in that cylinder and
pretty much. But I think taking a step back and thinking about riding like mental health in a way, like you think about like a twisty road, you're going down, you gotta go on the brake sometimes, slow down, you gotta throttle out of some of those things and keep moving. Like, some of the worst things you can do is just stop. Other times, it's the better thing to do, or just to power out. So, aside from that, you think about twisting the throttle, and you're just like, oh, how high can I get the bike speedo today? But only to the league.
We don't advise that. But anyway, I personally jump on and I warm the tyres up. I sway back and forth because I've got a sports bike, obviously.
I'll do it on a cruiser. It's a bit more sketchy.
No, you still do it. Still do it. Like I said, $20 in the tank's the most fun I have. Yeah, 20 odd bucks.
That'll get you from your place to my place, and you live 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But
go on the scenic.
I really do enjoy riding a motorbike. For me, it's the freedom. And it's good to know what you think about Twist the Throttle as well, what it means for you. Well, thanks a lot for coming along today, mate. I know it's a bit of a hike across the other side of town. You get to snake through the traffic. And
we've got to work out a deal to keep you here as long as the ride to Getty it was.
Yeah.
Otherwise you come over here.
Food, drink, offer me rides. I'm pretty easy.
All right, mate. We'll hopefully be hearing from you again in the future. Thank you very much for coming over.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, bud.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks for riding with us today on Twist the Throttle. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew. Remember, no matter how tough the road gets, you're never riding alone. Stay safe, stay open, and catch you on the next ride. Keep that throttle twisted.